Hey, it's Jeff with Barbecue Plus, and I wanted to spend a couple of minutes today talking about something that I'm really excited about. I made a brisket this weekend. It was a long cook. I used my Yoder 640. I put it in real low, 150 degrees, and I put it in on Friday night at about 4:30 in the afternoon. It ran at 150 degrees from 4:30 in the afternoon until about 6 a.m. the next morning. I'm going to put a little chart up here probably over on the side that shows exactly where that cook was. It shows with one line where the temperature of the grill was set, and then the other one that comes in a little bit later after I plugged the probe shows the internal temperature of the meat. So what I did is I let that run again all overnight, made sure I had plenty of pellets in that hopper, let it go until about 6 o'clock in the morning. At that point, since it's a Wi-Fi based, I was able to easily, from the comfort of my home, turn that up on my phone to go up to 225 degrees. Let that go most of the way through the morning. Again, I'll put that image up that you can see exactly what I did. Then turned it up again to about 350, I believe it was, to finish it off. Started it out really low, gave it lots of time to absorb that smoke, wrapped it at the point that we hit about 165 degrees. You can see at one point where the temperature in the pit dropped because I had it open, pulled out and wrapped that brisket, and then put it back in again, and then finish it off. Then what I did was about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I believe it was, I turned it down to about 150 degrees for kind of a keep warm. I had reached over 200 degrees in the brisket itself, so no need to have it go any longer. A few tips, what I did, I used a brisket flat only. I didn't use the point in here. So that turned out great. That's the kind of the more lean side anyway of the brisket, and I'm getting to be a fan of just doing those brisket flats instead of the entire packer brisket. A lot less trimming on it, which makes it easy. The results are just great. Nobody can complain about that lean brisket as long as it's juicy. So a couple of things that I did there. One is I added a lot of flavor by using what I'm calling my Brisket Magic rub. So here's how we're going to make up a batch of Jeff's Brisket Magic. First, we're going to start out with a half cup of black pepper, coarsely ground. There we go. Now our next ingredient is this beef bouillon powder. Picked this up at my local grocery store. I think I've even seen it at Walmart, and we're going to use about 1/3 of a cup of that. That gives a great beefy flavor to it. Stuff is wonderful. Does have a lot of salt in it, so where you might normally go 50-50 salt and pepper, we're going to go with a little bit less salt. I'm going to use 1/4 cup there just to compensate for the salt in that beef bouillon powder. And then just a couple of tablespoons of garlic powder. That gives a nice little flavor to it also. So we're just going to mix that up pretty well, drop it into a shaker, shake it up a little bit more, and put that right on top of the brisket. Then another thing I did for flavor is when I wrapped it, I used probably about 1/4 cup of beef tallow, and this is rendered down beef tallow from some previous briskets, and I put that in there also and wrapped it up. So that kept a lot of that juice, a lot of that flavor in there, plus what was rendering out in the balance of the cook. So when I opened that up, I had juice galore. That was really terrific. So again, I let it at 150 degrees, just go for probably a couple hours, kind of a keep warm, and then we had to go out for another event in the evening. So I just took the brisket off, wrapped it up in an old towel, and put it inside of a cooler and let it hang out there for about 2.5 hours. Brought it inside, cut it up, and you can see just that terrific look to it. You can see that we had a great smoke ring on it. You can see all the juice that came off of there, great bark on it also. I would highly recommend it. If you want to see the entire cook that I've done on these before, you can take a look at the video that I'll post at the end, and if you look through the rest of my videos, that's what you're going to be looking for to find that. It's under a main dish, really terrific. Can't wait to do my next brisket. So if you're going to cook brisket this weekend, that'd be great. Just find out what you're going to cook in your backyard and make sure it's good. From Barbecue Plus, thanks for watching. And we ran that, and I turned it up to 275. Then I turned it up to 275. A little bit later, I turned it up to 275 to finish out that cook. And I turned it up to 225 from the comfort of my bedside, and that was at about 4:30 in the morning. Up to 225.